What's up, guys? Coming at you with a Kashtira build that I've got going. Out of 10 duels, I've been winning at least 9, so I feel I've got it pretty consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the main deck. So I'm only running 1 copy of Visas. I'm kind of back and forth with him. I mainly only use him for a synchro play, and I also use him for my fusions. And then I play my 3 Rise Hearts. You know, if you have a Kashtira, you can special summon him, locks you into XZ. Then the turn he's normal or special, you get to banish a Kashtira card, and then he becomes a level 7 after the enjoyment of banishing the top 3 of your opponent's deck face down. And then, of course, just the 2 Unicorn, since they wanted to lock us out on him. If you control new monsters, you get to special summon him, and then he searches for your Kashtira spells, and then after your opponent's monster effect resolves, or he attacks, you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from it face down. So he's a good way to make sure you can guarantee you're not going to get completely screwed. I got the 3 Fenrir. They all special summon if you have no monsters, and then he's your monster search, and then whenever he attacks or a opponent's monster effect resolves, you get to target a face-up card your opponent controls and banish it face down. So there's your perfect spot removal. Then 3 Ogre. I like to keep the names going, plus Ogre actually is amazing. He searches for your traps, and then he banishes up to, you excavate up to the top 5 of your opponent's deck, and then you banish 1 from it face down, and then they go back in the same order. Plus he's your big body, he's a big old 28. I run 1 Scareclaw Kashtira. It's a quick effect to special summon from your hand, and then if you have one, you have to banish a Scareclaw or a Kashtira card from your hand or grave. A lot of times I make it to where I am out of Kashtira cards from hand and I have none in grave, so I just get a free body. But he's your big defender, and then he makes it to where your opponent can't activate stuff when your Kashtira's battle. I play my 3 Ash Blossom just because you don't want your opponent to search, and you're banishing a lot, and she does not care if she gets banished or not, as long as you get to discard her. So that's it for the monsters. And we go into the spell cards. I'm running 2 copies of their field card. When it's activated, you search for a Kashtira, and then all your monsters gain 100 attack for each different attribute on the field, and then it whenever your main XZ that you're going to go into, after one of its effects resolves, you get to target card on the field and destroy it. It's a hard once for every effect, and you can only activate 1 of the card per turn, but sadly we don't have an easy way to get into it, but it's amazing to see. Then we run 3 of the Theosis. You target 1 of your Kashtiras, and then you special summon 1 from the deck in defense with a different attribute, and then you're locked into XZs. And then if it gets banished, you get to target 1 of your banished Kashtiras and add it back to your hand. I run 3 copies of Birth because I would rather see it and then search it, especially if I end up drawing into Birth and Unicorn. That way I can use Unicorn to try to bait out any, Ash or Effect Veiler or something like that, and then I smack this right behind it. But with it on the field, all level 7s can be normal summoned without tributing. It can special summon a Kashtira that's banished or in your grave during your turn. And also, if your opponent activates a spell once it resolves, you can target 3 cards in your opponent's grave and banish them face down. It kills against branded. Probably one of the best anti-branded decks I've ever played using. I run one extra, which just if I get my Kashtira destroyed by my opponent's cards, then I get to bring out my Vicious Astrolabe for free. And then whenever it's banished, I can target my banished Visas and add it back to my hand. So if I already have Vicious out by using its own summon ability, then I get to banish this, and boom, I have my Visas back. Overlap, I run one of it. You target one of your monsters and banish a monster with 1500 attack, 2100 defense, and your monster gains 1500. It's a quick play, so it's amazing because you can activate it during damage step. Also, if it gets banished, you get to target one effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects for the turn. So it's an easy way to try to, kind of out something. Draw power is always amazing, so I run 3 copies of Sacred Sword. Basically all you do is you banish a level 7 from your hand or field, and then you get to draw 2 cards, and it's a hard once, but you only need 1 if any. I like to do the spot removal plays, and obviously you run Exi, so I play 2 copies of Exi import. That way I can just kind of spot removal from my opponent's field, and also give mine more material. And then I run 1 copy of D-Fissure. I have other reasons why I've run 1, which we'll get to here soon, but if you have this, your opponent can't Ghost Ogre you, can't get Effect Veiler, Droll, anything like that. You get, one of the main 4 Ghost Sisters that 2 of them nobody even runs. So what are you going to get hit by? An Ash? You get to keep going. I run 1 copy of Gold Sark because it's Gold Sark for 1, but 2, it can also be an open play if you draw into your Birth, because you banish off Kashtira and then you get special summon it with Birth. The 1 Terraforming to search for your field card. Like I said, we don't have many ways to get into it. And then 1 copy of Rhoda to search for Rise Heart, since it's a level 4 warrior. And then we'll move on to the traps. We got 2 copies of Preparation. It special summons a cache from your hand or banished. And then if your opponent activates a trap, you get to banish a random card from your opponent's hand. I run 1 copy of Big Bang. If you have an Exi, or a Kashtira Exi, your opponent has to banish cards until they have the same number as you do. So it's kind of like an evenly matched. And then also, if it gets banished, you get to target one of your Kashtira Exis and take one of its material and add it to your hand. And then last 2 cards, I run 2 copies of Macro. This is the reason I only run the 1 D-Fissure. I kind of tossed around 2 and 2, but I think this ratio is just fine to be able to block out anything I really need to. And then we move on to the extra deck. Your main card, we run 1 copy of Rise Heart. It's just too good. If your Kashtira Exi activates, then you get to use any Kashtira to Exi summon into him. And then if a card gets banished, you get to target any banished card and attach it to him as material. And then you get to detach 3 from him. And then you target any card on the field to banish it face down. And you just get to keep cycling over and over and over. Run 2 copies of Shangri-La just to go along with it. He takes 2 +7s to make him. During the standby phase, you get to special summon any Kashtira that is from your deck. And then also, if cards that your opponent possesses gets banished face down, you get to target any zone in their main monster zone or their spell and trap zone and block it out while this card is on the field. and then if it were to be destroyed, you can detach material instead to protect it. So it's so amazing that you get to bring out one of your Kashtiras on your opponent's turn, and then on your turn you bring another, and then you get to immediately bring out a Rise Heart just because you did that on your turn. I also didn't mention a Rise Heart. He's a bigger Dark Law, so anything gets banished while he's on the field. We run the 1 copy of Ash Shroud. Like I said, my fusion play for Visas, you really only need 1, and that's if you even need to go into it. He's basically there for spot removal. 1 copy of Flare Metal. It's Flare Metal, you're running 7s. Why would you not run it? Then I have a Utopic Future and Draco Future. Just because I'm not running a bunch of numbers. You do still obviously run a couple, but I mean, I've got 3 right there that I can just immediately go into Future with. 1 Thunder Charger, that way you got a Piercer. He's not huge, but he adds to your attributes. So he does still get that buff as long as you have your field card. I run 1 copy of Big Eye. It's a good way to spot removal and steal your opponent's stuff. Use it against them. And I run 1 copy of number 76. This thing is actually really neat. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects or monster effects with the same attribute. And she gains the attribute of each material that she has. And then she's a quick effect that you get to target a monster. I believe it's your opponent controls or in your opponent's grave. You detach material from it, and then you attach that to her as material. So that way you can keep cycling whatever she's protected from. Plus, it only takes 2 to bring her out, and she's a 27, so she's a pretty big body. I run 1 IP, run a copy of Unicorn. Zeraboris, I feel like he's probably one of the better, just because he gets that attack buff for each of the banished cards, and you can set it up to where you're not going to be able to, you're not summoning to his zones. I run 1 copy of Oral End. You get to flood your field all the time, so you're always going to have monsters, and you're always going to be able to bring them back. So why not push for something that monstrous? My last extra deck card is I run 1 copy of Baron, because Rise Heart's your level 4, and then Visas is a level 6 tuner. And I mean, come on, it's Baron. But that does it for my Kashtira deck. Leave a comment, tell me what you all think, tell me what I could change. Until then, like and subscribe.